And there's no question about it that that pulp mill now, it's sinking down now like a rotten turd. It's the only way to describe it. And we're going to win this one simply because there's so many people of all political and religious views, right, have got together because they can see that something is wrong and we'll beat it. And when we'll beat it, we won't have a triumphal party. We'll go after the real culprits, the politicians that betrayed us, right, because we've got to name them and get rid of them. And isn't it marvellous?
Yeah.
Isn't it marvellous that the most democratically and most honest members of Parliament are here today to support us? Isn't it absolutely fantastic? You know, I can't get over when you look at the history of what happened over this mill over the last 6.5 to 7 years. It's been a non-stop fight. A few of us began, and don't forget that when we first began, everybody appeared, when I say everybody, all the media seemed to be against us. Both houses of state parliament were opposed to what we were doing, were supporting the mill. Both houses of federal parliament, and we've even got, even now, 5 House of Representatives electorates in Tasmania, and we've got one with Andrew Wilkie who's running around all over the place doing the most amazing things while the rest of them seem to have disappeared. I don't even know who the member for Bass is. Does anybody know? They've just disappeared. You know, this is the thing. What we've got to do is make sure that when we elect, we've got to go away from this business of going for somebody with somebody's name that sounds familiar because they've been related to someone else that was in Parliament. We've got to, that's true. This Parliament, and our Parliament is dominated by half a dozen families. They kind of inherit it. It's almost like the House of Lords, you know. It really is. And when I see this great mob of people here today, you know, about what? Half an hour ago, I counted 5,000, and another 5,000 that came in since then, right? Oh, sorry, I beg you, another 1,000 came in. I mustn't exaggerate, right? They're still coming in, right? I can see these marvellous black flags everywhere, and as for those balloons, they amaze me. They look like great bunches of grapes, or the kind of the testicles of a liberated minority. So let's call them liberation balloons. And think interesting thoughts. But there's no doubt about it that we're going to win this one. And it's interesting that what they're trying to do, they've even had recently a survey, a poll supposedly of the Tamar Valley. I think it's true they went into the Tamar Valley. I think they did it in Georgetown. Right? Yes, I mean, because they got these weird results, right? But they still didn't get the results that they were wanting. And no matter what, right? I cannot see guns, the proponents of this mill, ever getting any support. Every time the dollar goes up a cent, it costs another $1 million or so for the mill, or much more than that. It's going up all the time. It's much more difficult. And I think that even some of our members of Parliament, even some of the worst ones, are starting to realise that this is an absolute dead donkey, if ever there was one. The only thing is, I feel that the government daren't say anything because they know that Guns is waiting there for some minister or someone to make some disparaging remarks about the mill so they can then sue the government and the taxpayer for all the money that's been wasted. And when you look at the money that's been wasted, just think of this. Here we are in this extraordinary, beautiful island of Tasmania. It's full of the most talented people, artists and writers, most wonderful people. And for some strange reason, the overwhelming majority of our parliamentarians are absolute dickheads. I mean,